my children call me old. I have a wife younger than me, she calls me old. I've got these things in my house called mirrors. Look at them, I just want to try to avoid them. But I did my very best for 2 sessions trying to pretend I was young. I get a little sore, but I'm going to continue to show technique. I'm not going to allow Matt to show any more technique on me. Right? So, bring up a guy here, he coaches at Vashon High School. He wrestled at Simon Fraser University. Not only was he a state champ in the state of Washington before he came to us, he was an All-American for us. He was also a NAI national champion his senior year, where he was also voted the most outstanding wrestler in the NAI. And yeah, it's a big deal. We've only had 3 NAI national champions on our team that came from the state of Washington. And not only was he one of them, the next one he had a hand in coaching. So that was pretty cool. So this is Lars Blumgren. Give him a hand. He's going to help us out today. And we're going to start by, we got a lot of things we want to talk about, but I don't think it's fair for us only to talk about what we want to talk about. So at the end of this session, we really want to find out some of the things you guys might want to see tomorrow morning, because we'll have 2 more hours tomorrow morning. And we haven't covered, you know, we've covered a ton of ground on basics, but there's lots of things Matt knows, and he can share a lot of information. But we want to start this session with clearing ties. Do you want to go first, or should I go first? Because all that 2-hour planning session we had just went out the window because I forgot. I think I'm going to start by just talking simply about wrists. We've already talked about, so this one we take a second. So if someone grabs my wrist, when someone grabs my wrist, we already talked about it. He only has my wrist. The person who has control is the person who's moving the other person. So anytime someone grabs my wrist, I want to bring my elbow in, I want to move my feet. He grabs this wrist, I move my elbow in, rotate my hand down, take a single, he grabs my other wrist, or he grabbed my same wrist. And the reason I always have people grab my right wrist is because if anyone scouts me in wrestling, they're going to say, Abdou only attacks with his right hand. A good coach can say, grab his right wrist. So it shouldn't be like, wow, someone grabbed my wrist, I don't know what to do, I'm frozen. Or this one, let's get on the dance floor, but that's not going to work for us in a match. As soon as I go like this, he's got an opening. So as soon as someone grabs my wrist, my first instinct should be move my feet, pull my elbow in. Right here, thumb down, shot here, grabs my other wrist, or same wrist with his other hand. Right here, I control the elbow, I rotate here, I got high crunch. Okay, so that's the first thing. Gotta get 2 hands on your wrists. Now I got maybe a bigger bit problem because it's gonna be harder to clear. I'm gonna come top hand here, I'm gonna grab his top hand. So my top hand's going to go to his top hand, and I'm going to throw my elbow right here to his elbow. And that's going to clear the wrist. Doesn't matter how strong he is, he's not going to be able to hold my wrist. Right here, top elbow, boom, right there. And then I've got a single leg right here. Okay, another one that happens a lot, he's got both my wrists. So if he's got both your wrists, 1, you're not a very good hand fighter. So we missed that day practice, but that's okay. You have kids that miss that day. He's got both my wrists. This is when you got 2 coaching strategies. You can do the one that Mike likes to, what are you doing? How could that happen? I don't have the answer for that right now. I might have been asleep at the wheel. I don't know. I got hypnotized by all the architecture in Japan. So I wasn't paying attention to my hands. He's got my hands. So what do I got to do? I got to beat him elsewhere before I can do anything. Because if he beats my hands and he beats my head, okay, I might as well be starting to think, don't give up 6. Okay, try to give up 2. So first thing I do if he's got my hands, I try to beat his head. If I can beat his head, get to his temple, now I'm going to isolate, go to one side. Now he's got my wrist, I got his wrist, and I'm going to rotate my elbow. But I can't do that if he's got 2 wrists, I'm giving away head position. So anytime someone's got 2 wrists on you, I always say beat their head first, and then isolate one side, and then go. Okay? So that's clearing wrists. We talked about clearing head already, so we don't have to do that. And I want Matt to talk about clearing 2-on-1s and underhooks.
2-on-1s?
And underhooks. So we need Lars up here for that, because I'm sick of getting taken out.
So,
And I'm going to be the, what do you call it?
Commentator.
Commentator, yeah.
Thank you.
Play by play guy.
Hey, so anything like this, first of all, clearing ties, I don't think it's taught enough. Everybody says drill, and somebody does 10 shots. They never think about clearing, doing any kind of counter offense. So really emphasizing it because they're not going to do it on their own. but the best time to clear a tie is right when he gets it. So as soon as I feel getting the 2-on-1, grabbing that 2-on-1, I gotta be starting to clear as soon as I feel this, I'm already starting to clear. And really, I don't like my elbow away from my side, so the key is I get my elbow down, and I circle out of it. The key to it is using my feet. Here, boom, here. Okay? So a lot of the times I'm able to clear a 2-on-1 before he even gets it. As soon as he gets here, I'm pulling my elbow back and down. Here. And circling my feet hard. I'm forcing him to chase me, but they're gonna get there. So if I do, I can't get my elbow to my side because of the top hand. I don't worry about this hand yet. Everybody's got a preference here on what to do. Personally, the way I was taught and what was effective for me, I attack the top hand. Now if I just try and grab it, he's got a good grip. It's really difficult, so I come right to the end of the fingertips here and I try and crunch his fingers this way and peel them off this way. So I don't even grab and pull as much as I take it to the end of his fingertips and I crunch his finger like his nail beds in. Now there's space, I put my elbow back to my side and I circle out. Always in my stance, ready to go down. So for me, it's attacking that top hand. I create a little space, peeled it off, put my elbow to my side and I circle out hard. That's my number one right there. I'll even go there, as soon as I do this here, I don't even have to grab his hand, I just make my hand like a cage, or like a fence. I mean like a fence right here. He's trying to grab, I just make it hard for him. He holds on too hard. He holds on too hard here. Boom. Like this. Here, I'll come right to the far side into my attack. Pull, guys, here. So if I come here, I circle out. Here, he's still holding on. I just guide it by. He's holding on to my wrist, so it's exactly this is what Justin was talking about. Just attacking the far side. Really.
I'm taught simple, before you show yours, because yours is a little bit funky, I was taught very similar to Matt, but I was taught as this guy grabs it, like if I can circle out of this and get my elbow back and square, that's what I want to do. But there's going to be a split second there where I actually realize he's got my arm. I don't own this arm anymore, Large does. And instead of pulling back, at this point if I pull back, he's going to just take my leg. Once I realize that it's extended and I cannot do this with my feet and get my elbow back, I'm going to do the opposite of retreating and circling. I'm going to pop and move forward. So I'm going to try to pop him in the chest right here, and I'm going to come right here for this arm. And I'm going to pop. Now we're in a kind of a neutral position, chest to chest. I'm going to attack this elbow hard. I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to drop my hand to the mat. And I'm going to come right up to him. Come on. So that's just pop, pull, drop, punch.
Yeah, I do the same exact thing. I swing it. I just think about swinging into my underhook.
And I was a 2-on-1 guy when I wrestled. So I underhook one side, 2-on-1 the other side. I was a control guy. And this move that Matt does, I hate because if you're a 2-on-1 guy and you don't know the guy has this move, you look really stupid. So it's kind of funky, but it also makes the guy look stupid. It's always good once in a while when you make the guy look stupid.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a little bit funky. It's
Yeah,
different.
well, you gotta have feel to do it. You can't teach this to everybody in your team, but you got somebody who's a little bit rubbery, got good feel for wrestling, they'll catch on to this real nice.
So all I do is it's the same thing. I'm giving him this elbow. I'm pushing into him. I'm in control here. I'm giving him. I want that push back. And then as soon as he pushes into me, I'm using my arm to bring his whole body down to the mat. Boom. I come here. This other hand, here, we'll turn around here. Here. So I push, get a little reaction, pull it down. This other hand is sneaking behind to block at his elbow.
And look where Matt's chest is. Even though he's cleared him, he's still covered with Large. A lot of kids are going to want to do this, and they're going to turn that way away. As soon as Matt turns away, all of his power is over there when he's going to need to wrestle there. So Matt does a really good job keeping his hips and chest square, but still tossing his opponent off his arm.
Oh, pull it down. This other hand sneaks in behind to catch, and then I just cover it.
Catches and it blocks Large from turning back in. Blocks that arm.
It's just like a limp arm. It's a limp arm, but instead of him having the whizzer on it, he's got that 2-on-1 right here. Again, I got to bring him down. Here, boom, pull him forward. The harder he holds on to me, the easier it is to do. If the guy feels it coming and lets go, then here, I go do this, that's not good. So I gotta make sure I give him this elbow, I'm doing this into him. Here, get him that little reaction back. Again, I'm attacking his hips. When I attack him, I always attack him here. All in right here. Because now I get my third position. I don't necessarily jump on up here. I actually left my junior year in the state finals because of that.
You're over it now, all right?
Over the top.
You over it?
So when you do that, it feels like you would have more control over it if you used it the way Justin did, where you grab the opponent's elbow and put it at the same time. Are you actually choosing not to and turning away?
I don't really turn away here. I come here like this. I'm trying to bring his whole body in front of me as opposed to like trying to.
The problem about if you're trying to do what he's doing from where I am, as soon as I come square, we're chest to chest, there's nowhere for me to snap him. So Matt's actually snapping him. So that's why he's avoiding squaring up.
My thought process is maybe you use his right elbow with your left hand to pull through to actually get more of a jump.
Yeah, I think as soon as I start coming across like this,
You lose that angle.
yeah, and it's harder for me to now bring him all the way over here when I'm twisted here.
Your chest will actually become a little bit locked there, and what really Matt wants to do is push him, create enough space that he can throw him down. So it's kind of a little
I would
push,
say-
release, let go kind of movement.
Honestly, that's kind of a little funkier, a little more maybe for advanced. I would not necessarily do it for, yeah, do it for everybody. I would just teach them the basics, swing underhook, attack the top hand, push your elbow to your side, circle out. So, underhooks,
Before we do that, what do you do the scooter drop right?
I mean,
One of my favorite wrestlers, boy, was just kind of ironic because his two biggest, this was his life for this new guy, is McElravy, who was a three-time NCAA champ, and he had a real nice boot scoot. And if you're got a good boot scoot, when someone grabs a 2-on-1 on you, you can hit right there. But if I do that, you might be kidding. I might not be doing anything. Can you do that?
yeah. Here. So if you go here.
I had it done to me several times. I've never done
It
it.
actually works really well when he has head position. Because now my head's already on the outside, ready to go to the far side. All I'm thinking about is attacking the far side of his body. So again, I gotta cheat my feet, kind of get in front of him a little bit. I grab on the far side, here, like this, he pulls in, and now I'm just trying to use my elbow. My elbows are doing this here, as my body comes in. So here, so boom.